welcome back to my G1 Retro Reviews. Today, we're taking a look at the first episode of the second season of the original Transformers series, Autobot Spike. In this episode, Spike is injured in battle with the Decepticons, and his mind is transferred into the body of Autobot X, a Frankenstein's monster-like creation of mismatched spare Autobot parts created by his own father, Sparkplug. So, this episode begins with Sparkplug creating Autobot X, a combination of various spare parts from other Autobots, including Prowl's left forehead crest and right chest, Sunstreaker's arm, Bluestreak's left door wing, Hound's shoulder missile, and, well, I don't want to spend all day playing spot the puzzle pieces. Let's see if you can figure out the rest on your own without consulting TF Wiki.
Another Autobot? Even if it works, who needs it?
What? You want to talk, Ratchet, since you and Wheeljack are the ones who created the Dinobots. Although, I guess at this point, maybe the Autobots don't know the Decepticons were back, so needing another warrior wasn't really high on their priorities list. So, Autobot X goes on a rampage, and the other Autobots are forced to take him down.
Ratchet and I'll help.
I love Ratchet's reaction to Wheeljack volunteering him to help. He's like, what? I didn't sign up for that.
You know, I'd like to find a way to transfer mental impulses to Autobot X. Then, if an Autobot is damaged, his mind could still function in Autobot X while his body was being repaired.
Now, this is kind of interesting if you recontextualize it with today's standards of Transformers lore, because Wheeljack is obviously talking about transferring a spark into Autobot X's body, which is not unheard of in Transformers lore post-G1.
There's only one reason Teletran 1 sounds that alarm. The presence of Decepticons in the vicinity of the new Air Force rocket base.
Really? You guys have an alarm for just that? That seems awfully specific. Well, Optimus does his roll call, but whose name he doesn't mention is Bumblebee's, who we can see following them as they leave the base. Maybe you should have stayed home since Optimus didn't call you Bumblebee. At the rocket base, we see that the Decepticons have inexplicably returned and have apparently survived their dunk in the lava at the end of Season 1. It's a shame that neither them nor the Autobots remark about this at all. Oh well, I guess they didn't have time for that. They've got toys to sell, in an episode that's all about a non-toy character. Nor has he ever gotten a proper toy since, other than a Creo minifigure and an official combination of various weaponizer parts, but we'll get to that later. So the Autobots engage with the Decepticons at the rocket base, but they seem pretty careless about all these highly explosive rockets.
The rockets? No.
What was I just saying, Optimus? And to make a diversion for the Autobots, Soundwave fires Megatron at Bumblebee and Spike. Or was it Megatron who shot at them and Soundwave was just holding him? Who is the guilty party here? Because as we see, Spike is apparently seriously injured and rushed to the hospital.
If only there were a way of separating Spike's mind from his body while we work.
How convenient that they just so happen to be working on something similar back at the Autobot headquarters. Also, in what way is Spike hurt that this would possibly benefit him? Something tells me that they didn't consult a medical expert when writing this episode. So the Autobots get to work on transferring Spike's mind into the body of Autobot X. And is it just me, or do the helmets that they have on remind anyone else of the one that Wolverine had when he was Weapon X? Autobot X, Weapon X, coincidence? So Spike goes berserk, and the Autobots are forced to subdue him. But Laserbeak has been spying on them, and Megatron sees this as an opportunity to turn him against the other Autobots. Kind of like what he did with the Dinobots. Back at the Autobot base, they have Autobot Spike watching Frankenstein, which seems like a really obvious mistake on their part, especially since he even referenced Frankenstein earlier in the episode. They couldn't have had Teletran 1 tuned to MTV and had him watch some music videos or something instead?
You've never seen.
So, of course, Spike goes on another rampage and escapes the base.
You did well, Reflector!
Don't I always?
Aw, I like it when Megatron actually praises his troops. He's not such a bad guy. At least he appreciates it when his soldiers do a good job. Megatron convinces Autobot Spike to join him, and when the Autobots come to help, we see that he's wielding Megatron in gun mode, which makes him one of the few Transformers to hold Megatron in gun mode, and the only Autobot that I can think of besides Optimus Prime. And technically, in a way, the only human too. So, as the Autobots and Decepticons fight, Spike takes a shot at his own father. Does Spike secretly have a bit of a Oedipus complex? We never do learn about Spike's mother in the show. And like in last week's episode review of Transformers Animated, gravity seems to be conveniently slow in this show as well, as Spike seems to have plenty of time to run over and catch his father before he hits the ground. I also like how in this scene, Spike manages to use Megatron's gun mode against his own Decepticons, which is basically something that you never see. As Megatron tells the Decepticons to retreat, we can spot Soundwave, who seems to be mistakenly colored like Skywarp, which coincidentally, inadvertently almost makes him look like Sound Blaster. And we end the episode with the Autobots successfully returning Spike's mind back to his original body.
I wonder what it'd be like for a robot mind to be transferred to a human.
Well, Bumblebee, we would eventually get something like that in the next season with the episode Only Human, as well as in Transformers Animated with the episode Human Error, and I guess kind of in Master Force with the Pretenders. And I think there is an episode of Rescue Bots with a similar idea as well, but I haven't gotten to that episode yet, and I don't want to spoil myself. Is there any I missed? Honestly, I like it when they do these kind of body swap episodes. Either humans in Transformer bodies, or Transformers in human bodies. But anyways, this was an okay episode of G1. It was certainly memorable, although I found the whole thing of Spike losing his mind inside Autobot X's body pretty tiring pretty quickly. I think it would have been better if they made Spike excited to be an Autobot, wanting to go out and fight Decepticons and stuff like that. You know, make him feel like he's indestructible and acting reckless. Kind of like a typical teenager. But still keep the whole catch that if he's seriously damaged in this state, he may not recover, may not be able to go back to his original body, or may even die. Kind of like how in Avatar, if the Avatar dies in the Avatar state, it ends the cycle, and no new Avatar will be born. I think that would have made for a better story, and it would have been good character growth for Spike, showing him become more mature and responsible, and eventually wanting to return to his old body. Also, as the Season 2 premiere episode, this certainly didn't feel like a Season 2 premiere. It was just kind of business as usual with neither the Autobots or Decepticons referencing their sudden return after the last episode. But I think you'll agree with me that this was a memorable episode. And technically, this wouldn't be the last time we see Autobot Spike, because in the recent Takara manga, a much older Spike would be gravely injured by the Quintessons, but his mind would be saved and he'd be reborn as the new Neo Cybertron X, or Neo Autobot Spike, or whatever combination of those two names that you want to call him. And like the original Autobot X, he is made up of a collection of mismatched pieces from various weaponizer figures, which you can actually recreate yourself if you have them all. Unfortunately, I think I'm missing a couple of these figures, otherwise I might do a video or something showing you how to build him. So for now, this picture from TF Wiki will have to do. And speaking of figures, wouldn't Autobot X or Autobot Spike make a great fit for the RED toy line? I mean, they could either do him as a Build-A-Figure or just a regular figure. And it would finally give us a proper figure of this character. Oh well, what about you? What did you think of this classic episode of the original Transformers series? As always, let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next time for the next episode of G1, Changing Gears. Ah yes, I believe this is the episode that Revenge of the Fallen was partially inspired by. So, I'll see you back here for that.